Zimbabwe is in the Super 8s of a World Cup. Now, that statement in the late 1990s would have been believable, though still a sensational achievement even back then. But today, especially after all Zimbabwe has gone through after being suspended just some years ago, qualifying now for the Super 8s is beyond a dream come true moment. It can wake up a cricketing nation that has had many challenges to counter for more than 2 decades. But today they sit on the cusp of something special in a format that they can actually shine in. Is this going to be that pivotal tournament for Zimbabwe then, and can they truly sustain this golden run? Now, before we even tackle the story and get you a sense of how big this accomplishment really is, we need to recap certain points in this country's cricketing journey. It was one that was filled with turmoil, massive upheavals, and a constant search for their true identity as a cricketing nation. Not one that was handed out to them or that they were given, but one they could build and make on their own terms. In fact, that has been at the core of all the struggles this country, and by that extension, the cricket, went through. They became a full member in 1992, and while the team of the late 1990s and early 2000s were not the true representative of Zimbabwe, they had great potential. Super talents, the Flower brothers, Henry Olonga, Heath Streak, these athletes defined Zimbabwean cricket trajectory back then. But with the shift in the political narrative, the change in regime, came a huge turning point in Zimbabwe's cricket. Politics clashed with the sport. The year 2003, in fact, proved to be a pivotal point. Players protested Robert Mugabe's governance. The famous black armband protest led by Andy Flower and Henry Olonga brought sharp focus and spotlight onto cricket, onto a rift that was beginning to form in Zimbabwe's cricketing fabric. Heath Streak led a massive protest the next year, 2004, and the result? Fallout with the cricket board and players sacked or pushed to retire, leaving Zimbabwe's cricket in the worst possible shape. A move that forced Zimbabwe to withdraw from Test cricket a year afterwards in 2005. Heavy defeats continued to drag Zimbabwe down a path that seemed to only take them to one of no return. In the years that followed, political instability coupled with financial and governance issues made this the lowest point of their cricketing journey. In fact, even after they made a comeback to Test cricket in 2011, problems still persisted. The political landscape and the challenges facing Zimbabwe as a country naturally impacted the cricket too. Poor domestic structure, salary delays, administrative issues all plagued the cricketing systems. And if you thought Zimbabwe had seen the lowest of lows, the ICC suspended the association in 2019 due to political interference. They were barred from ICC events, funding was frozen, and the country missed the 2019 T20 World Cup. That's alarm bells for any country to ship up, and soon. Cut to today and you see a new, hungry, and gritty Zimbabwe, a Zimbabwe that tries to shape its own destiny, no matter how difficult it has proved to be and still does. A country that qualified for the World Cup on the back of sheer perseverance, beat Australia with talent and finds itself in the Super 8s of a World Cup. A key inspirational figure in this journey, of course, has been their leader Sikandar Raza.
Super 8 was part of our goal, but it wasn't the ultimate goal. Please let's just not take our sight off from the main target. Along the way, you guys have made a lot of sacrifices, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of criticism, a lot of praises. But at least in the changing room, we have stuck together as a team. Honestly, I cannot thank you enough.
This is but just a small excerpt from a long emotional message that Raza delivered in the dressing room to his entire team after they qualified. It shows what this means to him, to his team, the entire support staff, and of course the country that has been delirious and ecstatic. And it shows what they want to do, that this is not it. The roadmap is only just begun and the journey is a long one. That making it past the first round of a T20 World Cup is but one chapter in a narrative that they are still writing and shaping. And this one came after months of accumulating moments and wins. Wins over Sri Lanka, fighting hard against South Africa and trying to push New Zealand. The last year, in fact, was a busy one for Zimbabwe. They hosted South Africa and New Zealand, a high-profile series after a long time. They toured Bangladesh. They toured England. played a home test series against South Africa, a tri-series at home came, a bilateral against Sri Lanka afterwards. They lost most of these matches, by the way, barring a test against Bangladesh and a T20 against Sri Lanka. But it primed them to keep fighting. Because then came the qualifiers where they beat Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, Namibia and Botswana. So this win against Australia is a result of all those losses and not just the wins, because that gave them perspective and strength. Raza may well be playing probably his last T20 World Cup, but they are trying to put down templates for the next generation to follow. The likes of Blessing, the likes of Sean Williams, everyone else who's coming up the ranks. Zimbabwe as a cricketing nation still has a long way to go. This is but a small step, but their heart and grit makes us here hope, us who've been watching cricket all this while, to truly believe in their journey. And when they take the field against India in that Super 8 clash, India's ardent cricket fans would be cheering them on just as passionately.
Power doesn't end quietly. Some deaths are not accidents. They are messages. A gunshot, a crowd, a country frozen. The killer disappears. The questions don't. This is not just about who died. It's about what followed. Governments fell. Armies moved. History rewrote itself. 5 leaders. 5 moments. One pattern. The assassination.